Right now at 5, the Greenway opens with controversy as Pittsburgh debates mixing families and alcohol sales.
And we've got some patchy fog out there, some clouds, more rain on the way. We'll break down those details in the forecast to get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, experts stress the role of safe driving for teens during the 100 deadliest days.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday. It's May the 28th, and we are trucking right along. We do that. You know, we can't stop the passage of time.
You certainly cannot. Although for some, it's going to be a shorter work week.
It is. Some, yeah. It's definitely a shorter work week for a few folks out there, and unfortunately, it's been a rainy work week as well. And we'll get a little pause in the rain for a good portion of today, and then it will return later. Here's a live look downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are again cloudy across the area as we get this Wednesday underway, but we are dry. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. Also looking good so far. Fog tracker, we don't have any areas of overly dense fog except for parts of Washington County down around Bartlesville, but we do have reduced visibilities just about everywhere with the exception of Fort Scott and really Bentonville. I mean, 10 is supposed to be perfect, so you're at 9.9. It's not that bad, but do keep in mind you could also run into areas of patchy dense fog this morning where those visibilities may suddenly drop. So as we told you before, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. Yeah, we haven't had this map out for a few days, which has been nice, but unfortunately, overnight tonight, so late this evening into the overnight hours, early tomorrow morning, we do have the chance for a strong storm or two, and it looks like at this point, a wind risk is the primary concern in our western counties, so we're talking maybe some gusty winds, 50, possibly 60 miles an hour. So that's good news is anything we see is going to be strong to low-grade severe, but unfortunately, that threat has returned. For most of today, we will be mostly cloudy, and then by about 4, we start seeing some showers working into our far western counties. And we'll have these scattered showers and even a couple of thunderstorms through the late evening hours. But you can see initially they're confined in the northwestern portions of our area before they'll eventually spread across the region overnight tonight. We're sitting at 59 in Joplin as well as Pittsburgh. And across the area we do have temperatures again mid-upper 50s, even a couple of 60s out there. So the warmer spots there are Miami and Grove. Cooler spot though looks to be Neodesha at 54. So still though, not a bad start to the day whatsoever. We'll have again mostly cloudy skies, maybe even moments of partly cloudy skies. That will allow us to warm up a bit more into the low 70s. Still off pace for normal, which is 80. We'll have those thunderstorm chances again gradually increasing through the late evening and overnight hours, and a northwest breeze at around 5 to 10. As I mentioned, the storm's increasing coverage overnight tonight toward tomorrow morning. We'll talk about those rain chances, tomorrow's rain chances, and how the weekend is looking here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. An arrest warrant has been issued for a Knoll, Missouri marshal in connection with a fatal hit and run. The charge of felony perjury against Rhonda Wise follows an investigation by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. According to that investigation, Wise stated in a probable cause affidavit that she found a suspect vehicle in a fatal hit and run in Knoll, Missouri by cross-referencing the serial number on a taillight lens. MHP investigations, however, revealed the lens only displayed specific letters, not a serial number, which matched a variety of vehicles. The discrepancy resulted in charges and an arrest, though a follow-up conducted by the McDonald County prosecutor led to the charges being dropped and the release of the suspect. Wise is not currently in custody. You can find more information on the history of this case on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, yesterday, we brought you the report of an inmate who broke out of a Calico Rock prison Sunday afternoon. Now, he's the former police chief of the town of Gateway, but was serving a 30-year sentence for murder and a separate sentence for rape. Officials warn that Grant Hardin is a threat to the public. Lakira Banks reports.
He's a sociopath. Prison's not full of people who are all bad. It's full of a lot of people who just do bad things. Grant's different.
Grant Hardin was sentenced to a combined 50 years for the 2017 murder of James Appleton in Gateway and the rape of a teacher inside a Rogers school in 1997.
He's extremely dangerous. He's already proven that he has no moral core or center that would prevent him from doing anything.
Prior to the crimes, Hardin worked for at least 4 separate law enforcement agencies, including the Fayetteville Police Department, the Huntsville Police Department, and the Eureka Springs Police Department. Officials there told 4029 News he was fired for excessive force in making poor decisions on the job. Hardin also served as constable for Benton County from 2008 to 2012. Hardin studied criminal justice and law enforcement at Missouri Southern State University in 2016 and 2017. Around that time, Hardin also briefly worked for the Northwest Arkansas Community Corrections Center. In 2017, Hardin shot and killed James Appleton. Then, in 2018, Rogers police used DNA evidence to link him to the rape. Nathan Smith was prosecutor at the time.
So it makes it even more shocking when a person who wears the badge would betray not only victims but his community's sense of right and wrong, which obviously it doesn't appear he believes in.
Smith says Hardin's actions have stripped the victim and their families of closure.
And the real thing that bothers me about it is that by pleading guilty, those pleas brought closure for the victims and their families, all right? And so by doing what he's done, that reopens those wounds for them.
Now, investigators say Hardin was wearing clothes made to look like law enforcement when he escaped. Well, the owners of a new downtown outdoor venue invite Pittsburgh City Commissioners to clear up concerns over alcohol sales and minors in attendance. The Greenway at 2nd and Broadway opened earlier this month. It's designed as a family-friendly outdoor food truck court and beer garden. The property owners also have an indoor bar connected to the Greenway called the Biles Brothers. But during the May 13th City Commission meeting, another business owner expressed concerns regarding a new ordinance permitting all ages access to the new venue. The exemption allows minors onto premises that are used as an outdoor entertainment and recreation area. Now, under the new rules, alcohol purchased in the indoor bar cannot be taken outside, and alcohol purchased outside cannot be taken inside. Also, anyone under the age of 21 will not be allowed to enter the Biles Brothers bar. Pittsburgh City Manager Darren Hall says he understands the concerns and a deeper analysis of the city's liquor laws is underway.
Currently, we have somebody reviewing all of our liquor licenses and CMB licenses the city's operating under, and yeah, we plan on going back and giving the commission a report on that more finalized.
The Greenway plans to open Thursday through Saturday evenings, weather permitting. Now, in recent years, the city of Pittsburgh added a similar exemption allowing minors in alcohol sales for the Main Street Axe Company. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, the Missouri and Kansas Highway Patrols released their reports on fatal crashes they worked over the Memorial Day weekend. In Kansas, troopers report 7 fatalities from 4 crashes. In Missouri, the Highway Patrol reported a total of 3 people killed in crashes over the weekend. Now, the counting period ran from 6 p.m. Friday until just before midnight last night. As Memorial Day passes, we officially enter the 100 deadliest days of summer. It's the time frame where fatal car accidents, especially involving teen drivers, are most likely to happen. According to AAA nationwide, more than 7,000 people died in teen driver-related summer crashes from 2013 to 2022. Now, in 2023, there were 97 total crash deaths in Missouri alone with teen drivers involved. Experts say as more teens begin to take to the roads, it's important to stay aware and keep safety in mind.
So we get a lot of local wrecks. Before this, I was a fireman here in town and was firsthand seeing a lot of the wrecks, and especially this time of year when people are over the road and drinking was involved.
Experts with AAA recommend parents work out a driving agreement outlining who is allowed in their car, where and when they can drive. Well, the Pittsburgh School District is expressing condolences and offering counseling following the death of a student in a car pedestrian accident. USD 250 yesterday sent an email to families and staff concerning the death of Jordan Baldwin, a 5th grader at Westside Elementary. Jordan died yesterday from injuries suffered in a crash on 4th Street last week. The district says counseling and support are available. The email says in part, quote, "Jordan was a cherished and important member of our school family. He will be deeply missed by all who knew him. As we come together to grieve, we ask for your compassion, sensitivity, and support for the family." And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The battle between the Trump administration and Harvard University continues as the State Department pauses new student visas worldwide. And we have a mild and mostly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, new developments in the White House's ongoing clash with Harvard University. The Trump administration has directed agencies to end around $100 million in remaining contracts with the university. The State Department is also now confirming a memo directing embassies around the world to pause new student visas interviews. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Every student's welcome here.
Protests at Harvard University as the Trump administration's battle with the institution intensifies, ordering federal agencies to review all remaining contracts with Harvard for termination or transition. The White House has already frozen over $3 billion in federal research grants and contracts. Last Friday, a federal judge temporarily blocked the administration from banning foreign students from enrollment at the university.
We, as international students in Harvard, in the U.S., we are not enemies of the U.S.
The White House has accused Harvard of discriminatory hiring practices and of not doing enough to address anti-Semitism on campus.
Everybody knows they're anti-Semitic, and that's got to stop immediately.
On NPR Tuesday, Harvard's president said the university has made real progress dealing with anti-Semitism and added, quote, "We need to be firm in our commitments to what we stand for."
We're losing students, we're losing researchers.
Political science professor Ryan Enos says the cuts are already being felt and that the White House's actions go well beyond Harvard.
This is a question of democracy and the rule of law in the United States.
The Trump-Harvard escalation comes as the State Department confirms a cable ordering U.S. embassies around the world to pause scheduling new student visa appointments as the administration moves to expand social media screening and vetting of new applicants. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Tomorrow, lawyers for the Trump administration and Harvard University are due back in court before the federal judge who temporarily blocked the White House from banning foreign students at Harvard. The hearing is scheduled on the same day Harvard will hold its commencement ceremonies. And still to come, a new study shows that maternal mental health in the U.S. is rapidly declining. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. We'll be right back. Well, startling video from a quiet Chicago suburb shows a passing box truck erupts in loud explosion. And the shocking incident was all caught on camera. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at the moment a beautiful day in a neighborhood was rocked by a thunderous explosion on a passing truck. It happened in the Chicago suburb of Addison, Illinois, as a doorbell camera captured the startling box truck blast, which investigators believe may have been caused by a propane tank leak, according to WLS. The explosion damaged 4 nearby homes and reportedly left the street littered with debris, such as clothing and furniture. No one in the homes was injured, and police say the driver, amazingly, walked away from the blast with only minor injuries. And from a big bang in a quiet place to a cosmic joust in deep space. That's what astronomers say was caught on camera for the first time ever. A new study revealed what experts say are 2 galaxies some 11 billion light years away, locked in an intense duel for superiority, repeatedly colliding with one another. Observations chronicled in the journal Nature even say that one of the warring galaxies pierced the other with a powerful quasar-sourced ray of radiation, wounding its star-making abilities. Literal Star Wars in galaxies far, far away. How cool is that? Finally, much closer to home was this cool cosmic caught-on-cam view of powerful lightning storms marching across the southeastern U.S. It was captured by Colonel Ann McLean, currently stationed aboard the ISS, who said she was astounded by the scale of the observed thunderstorms, with some lightning flashes appearing as large as cities. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Wow, absolutely fascinating. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at weather.
Yeah, we've got some patchy fog in some locations out there. We have more rain on the way. We'll have a look at the fog, the rain, the storms, and our weekend when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:22 on this Wednesday morning. And we're starting with the fog tracker where, well, you can see we got some patchy fog out there. Now, Iola, your visibilities have greatly reduced. You're back down under 2 miles this morning. Oh, I do apologize. Sometimes you get a little thirsty, get that tickle in your throat. Okay, now we're ready to go here. It never happens, in the 10 minutes of commercials or whatever it seems like, Always has to happen when we're coming back. All right, so just under 2 miles in Iola, just over 3.5, about 3.5 in Yates Center, 4 in Miami. So you kind of get the idea. With the exception, really, at this point of Fort Scott and Bentonville, we do have reduced visibilities across the entire region, with the greatest reduced visibilities, again, up around the Iola area at this point. So remember, low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Slow down. Give yourself time to get where you're going. We told you this yesterday morning to prepare for your morning commute, to maybe take a minute or two longer because, again, you may run into some of those patchy, dense areas where the visibility suddenly drops. So just remain aware out there. Unfortunately, we're breaking out these maps again because we got a chance of some stronger storms late this evening, overnight into early tomorrow morning. At this point, wind is the primary concern into some of our western counties. So we're talking wind gusts maybe 50, 60 miles an hour. So what does that look like on the future track? Well, we showed you leading into this evening. Initially, storms are mainly in the northern portion of our area before they'll start to spread. So what does that spread look like? Well, between here and there, we have that mix of mostly cloudy skies, could get some partly cloudy skies here and there. By about 4 or 5 o'clock, showers begin initially, and then they'll start to turn into some thunderstorms here and there. At this point, these thunderstorms look to kind of remain tame. What's going to happen is there will be additional development out to our west, and as that starts to slide into our area, so here we are at 1 o'clock in the morning, that's when we're going to start to see that opportunity for those strong, the low-grade severe storms with some gusty winds out there very early tomorrow morning. Then as we get closer to 4 or 5 a.m., we start to see more widespread showers and thunderstorms, and up until maybe 6 or 7 a.m., some of these could still be strong to low-grade severe, so we want to watch them tomorrow morning. You can see by 5 a.m. they're lining up along the 69 corridor and back to the west where those thunderstorm chances will be. Those will continue through the morning. By about 9 a.m., still some scattered storms, but our severe threat or even our strong storm threat should be much lower at this point. These storms will begin to exit, and we'll actually have some pauses by the afternoon in showers before we see one more round of showers and maybe a rumble of thunder or two try and push through in the evening. And once we go overnight and into Friday morning, those are gone. They're done. And our Friday, take a look at that. Looks fantastic. Not a cloud out there. Could have a cloud or two. It's mostly clear skies, but a lot better and a lot warmer for us. Patchy fog to contend with from now through at least 8, maybe 9 at the latest. Low 60s to start our day and into the mid 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Again, mostly cloudy skies for most of the day, but some partly cloudy skies here and there will be possible. Into the low 70s. Again, still below normal, but a little warmer. And we'll see those shower and thunderstorm chances begin to increase. As we head into the evening, again, scattered showers and thunderstorms initially, and then they'll become more widespread as we go late overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Back into the mid to upper 50s once again. Tomorrow, thanks to the rain, the clouds, a little cooler again, upper 60s. Then mid to upper 70s on Friday. Still looking at maybe a couple of pop-up storms in the afternoon Saturday, so do remain weather aware. Otherwise, our weekend looks great, back into the 80s. In fact, going a bit above normal with some showers possible on Tuesday and maybe some thunderstorms toward the end of next week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the symptoms of long COVID can differ for infants versus children ages 3 to 5. A study published in JAMA found infants and toddlers 2 years and younger are more likely to experience poor appetite, trouble sleeping, coughing, and stuffy nose. But kids ages 3 to 5 are more likely to experience daytime tiredness, low energy, and a dry cough. Now, doctors say there's still much we don't know about long COVID. Maternal mental health in the U.S. is getting worse. A study by Columbia University found the number of mothers who said they had excellent mental health dropped 12% between 2016 and 2023, and the number of mothers who said they have had poor or fair mental health rose more than 3%. Now, the study notes this could be connected to a similar decline in physical health. And climate change could be causing more cases of cancer among women. A study in Frontiers found a small increase in breast, ovarian, uterine, and cervical cancer might be linked to the effects of climate change, including rising temperatures, worse food and water security, and poor air quality. The study's authors say more access to cancer screenings could be a key factor in saving lives. Let's look at Health Watch. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Freeman Health welcomes 30 new graduate nurses in a signing day ceremony.
And we've got some patchy fog, some cloudy skies, and eventually, unfortunately, more rain on the way. Details coming up.
Plus, young artists get to express their creativity during a week-long art camp in Pittsburgh.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday. It's May the 28th, and it is still 2025. It's the future, guys.
Here we are living it.
You know, you got to go back and watch some of those old, like Tex Avery, the Looney Tunes, those old cartoons.
Oh, sure.
See what their predictions for the future would be. The 2000s
No flying cars.
No flying cars, and very interesting how they foretold things that unfortunately did not happen, but that's all right. We do have a pretty decent day, at least for a bit, and by decent I mean it's going to be dry. It's going to be one of our driest days so far this week until we get to Friday, which that's even better, and we'll talk about that a little later. First though, our live look downtown Pittsburgh, and we'll head over to the MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, also looking fairly good this morning. Again, we do have some patchy fog across the area. Iola, you're down to just under 2 miles of visibility. Fort Scott, Independence, Bentonville, all doing okay, but everybody else reduced visibilities out there. And one thing you got to keep in mind, with all the rain, all the moisture, all the water, all the stuff that's out there, you could run into pockets of very dense fog where your visibilities will suddenly drop. So again, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. Just be careful out there and give yourself time to get where you are going. Now, late tonight into early tomorrow morning, we do have the chance for some strong to low grade severe thunderstorms, which right now, gusty winds, we're talking 50, 60 miles an hour, seem to be the primary concern into our western counties. It's something, of course, that we'll monitor, but just a heads up, we could get a couple of stronger storms. Now, most of our day, we're mostly cloudy, could even reach periods of being partly cloudy, and that's also what will assist in us getting just a hair warmer this afternoon. However, by about 4 o'clock, we got some showers initially starting to roll into some of our southeastern Kansas communities. And then after that, we kind of just hover right along the 54 corridor with scattered showers, couple of rumbles of thunder. Nothing significant initially, but late tonight and tomorrow, thunderstorms will increase in coverage and also bring us that opportunity for a strong storm or two. 59 in both Joplin and in Pittsburgh this morning. Temperatures for most of us are into the mid to upper 50s, got some low 60s. So we got Miami at the warm spot at 62, and our cooler spots, both Neodesha and Parsons now both at 54. Eventually, we're going to look at highs right around the low 70s, maybe some mid 70s out there. And again, mostly cloudy skies, but some partly cloudy skies possible, with those thunderstorm chances gradually increasing late tonight and a northwest breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll talk more about our thunderstorm chances tonight into tomorrow and how our weekend is shaping up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. Well, firefighters in Independence, Kansas respond to a truck fire and found it fully engulfed in flames. Independence rural firefighters were able to quickly extinguish it. Montgomery County Sheriff's Office reports the occupants of the truck said they had experienced mechanical issues with the truck, and the fire started after the truck had stopped. It was quite a sight, but no injuries were reported. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps, as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, springtime is in full bloom, bringing with it new life and the beauty of nature. Unfortunately, that's not all it brings. Bugs are making their seasonal return as well. Pest control companies across the 4 states are already reporting a spike in calls. The professionals say there are some common 6- and 8-legged pests to look out for this time of year. And yesterday, young artists set out their paints and canvases for a week-long art camp. Now, Art Form Gallery in Pittsburgh is hosting the event to give students a chance to express their creativity. An instructor says the camp provides a way for young artists to learn some real-world skills.
We need to help people, especially young people, become problem solvers and designers and creators and get those juices flowing, and to do something tactile, spend a little less time on the screen and some time doing something with your mind and your body. Just really important. I think it's just really healthy for kids to be involved in art.
The students in the camp range in age from 6 years old to 17. And it was signing day for 30 men and women who've chosen to help save lives at Freeman Health System. The graduate nurses were honored at the Ron Richard Athletic Center at Missouri Southern for completing 2 years of medical schooling. Now, while athletes sign letters of intent to play at the next level, these nurses are signaling their willingness to do everything in their power to comfort patients and save lives.
I am very appreciative of those around me and how hard they've worked to become nurses. So anybody that you went to school with, they all kind of become like sort of a fellowship to you. You all have what you went through in nursing school in common and your end goal.
Each graduate nurse honored last night will eventually take the national exam required to become registered nurses. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The U.S. Consumer Confidence Index increased this month, but recession concerns remain. Plus, Southwest Airlines ends its free checked bag policy. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, the once hot housing market in places like Florida's Gulf Coast is now struggling. As Christian Benavides explains, a combination of factors is making it difficult for homeowners to sell.
Florida resident Darlene Strange has been trying to sell her mother's home in Fort Myers since November of last year.
Is it disheartening?
Yes, it is. It makes me wonder, is it ever going to happen? Here's the second bedroom.
Realtor Angie Ramos says at least 6 of the properties she has listed have been sitting on the market for far too long.
We've seen a lot of price reductions. Things are selling, but not as quickly as, as one would want to.
In Southwest Florida, inventory's up. House prices are down year over year, and it's not the only market seeing a slowdown. It's an about face for regions that recently saw houses selling at record highs, particularly across Florida and Texas.
It was moving right along. I mean, like one thing after another. I mean, we were selling.
Cape Coral, Florida had the biggest price drop in April year over year, followed by Northport, Florida, Austin, Texas, Tampa, and Lakeland, Florida. Still, high interest rates, skyrocketing home insurance, and elevated listing prices are among the reasons inventory isn't moving. Strange needs to sell this home to pay her mother's assisted living expenses.
How much longer can you afford to not sell this house?
Yeah, that's a problem. We're getting into the point where if something doesn't happen within the next year, it would be a scary situation.
While the spring buying season got off to a slow start, it's become a tale of two cities. In parts of the Midwest and Northeast, the housing market is still highly competitive, with home prices on the rise. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Fort Myers, Florida.
After 5 months of declines, the Conference Board's U.S. Consumer Confidence Index increased in May by 12.3 points, beating expectations. Although the Expectations Index, which measures how Americans feel about their near-term income, business, and job market prospects, rose to 72.8. Now, any number below 80 is a recession indicator. The White House said in a statement the Consumer Confidence Report reflects multiple solid inflation and jobs reports that Americans have seen under President Trump. Well, the Coastal Companies is recalling 17 products sold under multiple brand names that may contain cucumbers from Bednar growers. The cucumbers have been linked to a new salmonella outbreak that has sickened at least 26 people in 15 states so far. The products include salsas sold under Giant Weiss and Tops brands, as well as created Fresh brand salads. Consumers are urged to keep a record of the products and throw them out immediately if found. And Southwest Airlines is ending its free checked bag policy today for many passengers. The budget-friendly carrier says it will charge passengers $35 for a first checked bag and $45 for a second. Though loyalty program members, Business Select flyers, and certain credit card holders can still have their bags checked for free. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Now we're taking a live look on MoDOT camera 32nd and Range Line in Joplin. And as you can see, not much happening at this point, but otherwise, we've got some patchy fog in some locations. We do have some rain chances on the way as well. We're going to go over those details with you and the possibility of some strong storms when we come back.
Well, it could be a great season for one fruit crop this year. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Grimace with today's Ag Day Minute. President Trump says the U.S. will delay implementation of a 50% tariff on goods from the European Union, moving the date from June 1st to July 9th. It's to buy time for negotiations with the bloc. The EU said it agreed to fast-track negotiations with the U.S. to avoid a trade war. Now, the Trump administration is pressing for broad concessions from the EU to reduce a goods trade deficit near $200 billion, including removing EU food regulations affecting U.S. ag exports and digital services taxes targeting U.S. tech firms. A debate over rice has forced Japan's agriculture minister to resign. It's due to political fallout over a comment he made that he, quote, never had to buy rice because he got it from supporters as a gift. Taku Eto's decision to resign comes as Japan faces record high prices for rice, the country's traditional staple food. Now, officials have blamed the problem on poor harvest because of hot weather back in 2023 and higher fertilizer and other production costs. And this could be a great year for cherries from Oregon. One cherry grower says it expects this to be a standout season with a 30% larger cherry crop compared to last year. Now, they say the cherry trees came through a mild winter looking strong, and they are now bursting with cherries. They project there will be an ample supply ready for 4th of July celebrations. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now here's Chris with the full look at your forecast.
As I mentioned, we are tracking some patchy fog out there. So here's a look at the fog tracker. Iola, you've seen your visibility improve just a hair. You're about 2.5 miles out there. Fort Scott, Independence, Bentonville, still the best visibilities out there, because remember 10 is right about 10 is perfect. So Independence 9.2, Bentonville 9.8, but you can see in the eastern portions of Benton County some dense fog rolling in, dense fog around the Bartlesville area as well, and then reduced visibilities for just about everyone. And the other thing to keep in mind as well, with all the rain we got, all that moisture, all that standing water, fog, it could be an issue everywhere, and it could also lead to patchy dense fog where you're doing all right for a minute and your visibility suddenly drops. So remember, slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going this morning, and use your low beams, not your high beams, because that doesn't help anybody. All right, we do have the chance for strong storms as well, as we were talking about. Now, thankfully, we don't have any areas highlighted for tornado or hail. The only thing we have is this isolated wind risk. So we're talking winds maybe 50 to 60 miles an hour, but this is going to be late tonight into early tomorrow morning. And between here and there, not much. We'll have mostly cloudy skies, maybe even moments of partly cloudy skies here and there. By about 4 or 5 o'clock, initially showers start developing, rolling into our western counties. Then they kind of lock themselves in along the 54 corridor for a while, actually, tonight. It won't be until after midnight that we'll see a complex of storms that'll develop off to our west. They'll begin to slide in and push all this activity down to the southeast. That is going to be our window. Say roughly between midnight and maybe 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's going to be our window for some strong, potentially low-grade severe storms. So we want to certainly keep an eye on that. By 5, the thunderstorms themselves look to be lined up along and west of the 69 corridor. Those will roll through, but by the time we get to 9 and they get to the east of the I-49 corridor, thunderstorms, yes, but the strong to low-grade severe potential drops off significantly. We'll even have a brief period of no rain, still cloudy, but no rain into the early afternoon before we see at least one more round of scattered showers and storms that tries to roll through as we go overnight, or late evening rather, on Thursday. Then overnight we will clear out by Friday. We're looking at just a few clouds here and there, otherwise much warmer, a north breeze, and temperatures climbing for us, and as you can see too, dry for the first time in a while. All right, our camera 7th and range line, it's a little hazy, so the fog not too bad right now in Joplin, but it could continue through 8, maybe 9 a.m. at the latest. 60 to start our day, mid-60s by 11 o'clock this morning. As we head into the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, and again, maybe even some partly cloudy skies, and we will warm up a little bit into the low 70s with that northwest wind at 5 to 10. Then again, the thunderstorm chances, again, initially kind of hovering around the 54 corridor. And as we go later tonight into the overnight, they'll begin to push off to the east and southeast, and we'll get more widespread storm chances. East winds tonight 5 to 10, lows similar to what we've seen the last 3 nights now, back into the mid to upper 50s. Now, thanks to the rain, the cloud cover, and everything else tomorrow, temperatures cooler back into the upper 60s. Friday looking great. Again, maybe a stray cloud or two into the mid to upper 60s. I still want to keep an eye on those pop-up storm chances Saturday. This is going to be one of those things, you guys know how that works, where they kind of pop up quickly. So if you're heading out to the pool or doing anything outside on Saturday, just keep an eye to the sky. And remember, when thunder roars, head indoors. Make sure you've got a place to go. You don't want to mess around with any lightning, okay? Outside of that, though, skies look pretty good through the weekend. We're going to be into the low to mid 80s. Temperatures warming up even more so next week, maybe some showers Tuesday. And we're already keeping an eye on some thunderstorm chances rolling into the following weekend. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to send it over to Lise now, who's got sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. So Diamond High School softball won the Class 2 state championship a year ago, and the Wildcats did so with an extra innings victory over Kennett in the state title game yesterday afternoon. Those same 2 teams meet again in the state semifinals. Rematch of the 2024 state championship. Diamond faces Kennett, this time in the Final Four. Lady Wildcats waste no time. Top of the first inning, Wildcats already up 1-0 after a sac fly, and Taylor Daniels keeps the line moving with a single into left field. Next batter, Kenzie Crook drives one into the gap in the right corner. 2 runs will score. The Wildcats are up 3-0 after the RBI double from Crooks. And they're not finished in the first. The next batter, Taylon Engel, she hits a bloop to shallow center, and that drops in as well. Wildcats with runners on the corners. Next up, Sarah Roselle bounces it sharply back to the pitcher, and her throw to first gets away. Crooks scores from third. Engel comes all the way around from first to score as well. Diamond jumps out to a 5-0 lead in the first and doesn't look back. The Lady Wildcats win it 16-8. They'll play for a state championship against Warsaw today. For high school baseball in Missouri, only a few of our local teams remain alive in the playoffs. 2 of them are in action last night. Those are Class 4 sectional games for Nevada and Seneca. If they both win, they'll face each other in the quarterfinals later this week. We'll start with Nevada, who was on the road last night at Blair Oaks, and that's where the Tigers' 2025 season comes to an end. They get shut out by the Falcons. Final score 3-0. Nevada completes the year with a final record of 18-12. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, a new study has found that megalodons may have devoured both large and small prey alike. Previously, it was believed the prehistoric predator only hunted large marine animals like whales to reach its required 100,000 calories per day. But after analyzing minerals and fossilized teeth, scientists say the giant shark may have hunted whatever was available in local waters. The study also showed there were regional differences in the giant shark's feeding habitats. And you can now call Hong Kong's first locally born giant pandas by their names. Meet Zhai Zhai and Didi. They are some of the newest inhabitants at Ocean Park and are named thanks to the suggestions in a naming contest that drew more than 35,000 entries. The Chinese character Zhai came from for the female cub's name, carries a message of support and features an element of family and grace. Now, D from the male cub's name means to succeed, which carries the connotation that Hong Kong succeeds in everything. The cub's parents arrived at Ocean Park from mainland China last year.
Always great to see those little panda cubs. It's always great to go to the zoo. We've got some great ones here in our area, and now you're just going to throw stuff everywhere now? I guess so. Well, that happens. We haven't done that in a while. I feel maybe I should join in and toss a few things. Well, anyway, we have a bit of a foggy start to the day. It's cloudy out there as well, as you can see from 7th and Range Line. And you can see right now, at least from the Joplin side, there's fog out there, but it's not overly dense at this point. It could last through about 8, 9 o'clock this morning. We'll be starting in the low 60s and making it to the mid 60s by 11 a.m. As we head into the afternoon, we will still be mostly cloudy, maybe periods of partly cloudy skies. We'll make it in the low 70s, and around 4 or so in our western counties, we'll start to see a few scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Those will actually, at least initially, remain confined almost right along the 54 corridor until later tonight, around 9, 10 o'clock, when we start getting some thunderstorms in from the northwest. That'll start pushing those down. They'll become a little more widespread tonight, back into the mid to upper 50s. Now, some of the storms late tonight into early tomorrow morning could be strong to low-grade severe, something we'll keep an eye on. Gusty winds are the primary concern if any of those storms do intensify. We'll have scattered showers and storms for our Thursday, wrapping up by the late afternoon, early evening hours, and that'll also keep us cooler back into the upper 60s. But take a look at Friday, just a few clouds. We'll go into the mid to upper 70s. A couple of pop-up storms Saturday, so do keep that in mind if you're heading out. Otherwise, clearing skies and into the 80s. More rain chances next week. We'll be back with more after this.